So I've got to ask you, what's the deal with Walmart lately? I just went up to Walmart and I was looking for different things. And I go to different sections within the store, whether it was the egg section, the pop section, the meat section, whatever it was. I went to several sections and they were nearly empty. So today I went over to No Frills, kind of the budget style type of grocery store within our city. And they have everything. What's the deal? Like, Walmart is a large conglomerate, more large than No Frills is. How are they having such a difficult time with keeping things in stock?
I really wish I could answer that question for you, because when I was there, I worked there like 10 years ago, mind you. That store was never empty. But it just seems like, because I noticed it too. It seems like, I would say pandemic till now is when I noticed it really got empty.
Okay.
And I literally have at this point given up even trying to go to Walmart to find what I want to get. I will literally go on to the Walmart app before I go to Walmart to get my item to see if it's there,
Right. Another thing that Walmart's doing right now is they've kind of gotten rid of a lot of their package deals, I guess you could say. I used to be able to go up there and you could get soda pop, whatever you want to call it. And it would be like 2 for whatever dollar amount.
Yeah, I haven't seen that there in a long time. Meanwhile, over at Food Basics, every week there's something that's like 2 for whatever, 3 for whatever,
Right? I don't know what it is with Walmart or what's going on with them, but I hope that these things kind of get corrected, because it is a really nice place to be able to go to get everything that you need, from, household to sanitary to cleaning to food, everything that you want. I don't know. I think it's about time that Walmart rethinks things and turns it into a good showtime. Just as we are right now. It is showtime. I am Carl Carafel. I am here with Chris Best, and we are looking at Turnbuckle Talk, episode number 381. Who run the world? Well, the world that we talk of is the Bloodline, but that's going to be later on in the show. Chris, you found some pretty interesting topics here for us to go over. And I think the first one that I think that we should go over is about a block party that is going to be happening. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, this was shocking to me, because honestly, so the City of Windsor, Ontario is holding a block party to celebrate the history of pro wrestling in Windsor, which I think is really friggin' cool that they're doing that. Border City Wrestling, which, as we know, is run by Scott D'Amore, is putting on a free event to celebrate the history of pro wrestling in Windsor. Also to celebrate the book release by a man by the name of Jamie Greer, who is the author of Killer, Butchers, Crybabies, and Canadian Destroyers, The History of Professional Wrestling in Windsor, Ontario. I didn't even really know that there was a history of wrestling in Ontario, in Windsor. I only knew of Border City Wrestling, and I know Border City Wrestling is actually a pretty recent promotion.
Yeah.
But already I'm telling this guy, take my money, because I kind of want this book. I kind of, you know me, I've been trying to get the history of pro wrestling in Ontario as a whole. So like this book could help me out with that.
Right. Yeah, it definitely could. What are some of the names that you were able to find that have come through Border City Wrestling, and these names make it such a historic thing for Windsor?
Well, I mean, obviously we've got Scott D'Amore, who went through there. Two WWE Hall of Famers. One's escaping me right now. The other one is Killer Kowalski. Andre the Giant went through, spent some time in Windsor. Back in 75, he wrestled there.
The other name you're thinking of is Abdullah the Butcher.
Yeah, I should have known that, considering I'd just seen an interview with Devin Hannibal on YouTube just this afternoon. So
right.
But he he talks about how he wrote this, and it was supposed to be just a fluff piece in like Windsor's newspaper. And as he was writing it, when he finished it, he ended up with 700 pages. And he's like, okay, I got to turn this into a book. I didn't realize how deep the history of wrestling goes. This guy went to everyone. He went to the wrestlers who are still living, who were wrestling there in the 30s and 40s, went to their kids, went to their grandkids to get all the stories that he could. But oh my God, I need to get this book. I really do. And I want to go to this event.
Right.
Because it kind of makes me want to start diving into the history of pro wrestling in our city, because our city actually does have a deep pro wrestling history as well.
Oh yeah, it definitely does. Some of the other names that Border City Wrestling has brought in have been like Bret Hart, Kurt Angle, and even for one appearance, The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, has shown up and performed for Border City Wrestling.
Yep. I'm actually looking at a picture of him at a BCW event with one man that we recently were with, D'Lo Brown.
Yeah. It's amazing. And I mean, Roddy Piper is another one.
Yeah, Roddy spent time there as well.
Right. Bobo Brazil. And I know I'm throwing out names that are just kind of random and all over the place, but these are names that really need to be put out there.
Excuse me on that, by the way. So
Greer's book release, along with the weekend, there's going to be Jamie Greer's Rock and Wrestling Weekend in downtown Windsor, and Border City is going to host a free outdoor event called the Border City Wrestling, or BCW, Downtown Showdown, July 27th at 4 p.m. Good for them. I am happy and thankful that they were able to do something like this to really show the history that there is in not just Ontario, but in Canada for professional wrestling. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Oh my God. I mean, like when you talk about the history of wrestling in Ontario, everybody seems to go to Frank and Jack Tunney and how they ran Toronto. But really, the pro wrestling history in Ontario goes a lot deeper than that. You could, if I may make a suggestion to anybody who hasn't read it yet, read The 3 Count by Jimmy Corderas. He talks about some of the Canadian wrestling history in Ontario around the time that he came up in the business. Yeah, and it's actually very interesting.
It definitely is.
By the way, watching NXT right now, MSK and Joe Hendry showed up.
Nice. Very, very nice.
Not to spoil it for our viewers who aren't watching it yet, but just had to put that out there. But yeah, this is really cool. And I kind of there's one thing I think would have been cool for this whole weekend event. If they would have somehow set up like a small museum to showcase the history of wrestling in Ontario.
Right. It definitely could have. there are still some people that are in the business that are still working that could have lent themselves, and they still might. We really don't know what kind of surprises that they're going to bring. We have somebody over on Twitch asking us a question. I don't know why we have low viewers. We just do. We haven't been pushed out there by the algorithms enough as of late.
Yeah.
But it's okay because we have a passion and a love for what we do, and we will continue to do what we're doing, whether we have one amazing viewer or we have 1,000 amazing viewers. It doesn't matter to us because we're here to entertain. And if we're entertaining ourselves sometimes, that's okay too. But we do know that this goes out onto a podcast form as well, in audio form only, that is available and does good numbers there. So I just want to point out that there are some wrestlers that still could kind of lend themselves. We're talking like Ace Austin, Ace Romero, Al Snow, Alex Shelley.
We're talking wrestlers from the Windsor area, and there's...
Well, I mean, like even AJ Styles.
Petey Williams.
Well, I'm talking about people who have been with or have been a guest of Border City that could maybe lend themselves, right? Amazing Red, who I've had the opportunity to work with a number of times when I was wrestling, a 3-time TNA X Division champion, Angelina Love, Santino Marella, Aaron Rex, Arn Anderson, Austin Aries. Unfortunately, one of my good friends, Mike Shaw, has passed away, but Bastion Booger, or Mike Shaw, lent himself there as well. Barry Horowitz, Blue Meanie, Brooklyn Brawler, Bubba Ray Dudley. Carlito can't right now because he's kind of locked into a contract with the WWE. Former guest of Turnbuckle Talk, C.W. Anderson. Somebody that we just got to meet, D'Lo Brown. There is a large number of names that could lend themselves momentarily. Jimmy Jacobs, who was here recently as well, to an appearance of some sort at Border City Wrestling for this amazing event. Theodore, good to see you. Thank you for coming by.
Yeah, glad to have you here. I thought I could swear Petey Williams spent time in BCW as well, because
yeah, he did.
And I know that you said that Carlito is locked into a contract with the WWE, but WWE's been opening that door to allow wrestlers to go do other things.
It's true. It's very true. Petey Williams actually is a former Border City Wrestling television champion and a Can-Am tag team champion with Bobby Roode,
who also went through BCW, as obviously right there. I mean, actually, pretty much everybody who was a part of Team Canada went through BCW.
Right. Yeah, Theodore, if you got any suggestions, shoot me a message. Shoot me a private message. Yeah. We would appreciate that. We have tried a number of different things that have been successful and some that have been unsuccessful. And it just seems like there's a little bit of a lull right now. And I it's summertime. People are out there doing their thing during the summer and not necessarily spending their time here with us live. Yeah, but the numbers do show that they rewatch or re-listen to the shows.
I was going to say the key word there is live.
Right. And then lastly, I just want to mention a man that I have actually had, dealings with in the ring, and that's Zach Gowen, who has also been with Border City Wrestling.
Who is still working, by the way. I was kind of surprised at that.
Yeah, just recently. You know what? Let's talk about that for a minute then. Zach Gowen recently made his way back into the professional wrestling ring. Now, he's been involved in a few different ways with professional wrestling, whether it's, helping people out or doing other little things like that, right? Or just lending his name even.
Yeah, but he was in this year's Battle Riot.
Yes. So, I mean, It's amazing, right? Like my
Mhm.
friend Zach Gowen back into the world of professional wrestling inside the ring. I love it. I am just so thrilled at this. And I know that we're kind of beating a dead horse with this, but this is freaking cool, man. That Windsor, Ontario, Canada is going to be having a weekend dedicated just to the history of professional wrestling in Windsor. Yeah.
Mm.
Dude. And the title of that book there, Killers, Butchers, Crybabies, and Canadian Destroyers, is amazing. I definitely want to try to get a copy of that when it comes out.
I'm gonna be keeping my eye on that. I'm actually gonna set up some kind of a product follow on Amazon, maybe, or something.
Ooh, yeah, I never thought about that. That would be a fantastic idea. Definitely would be. Let's move from Windsor, Ontario to something else that is pretty amazing when it comes to the history of professional wrestling. Let's talk a little bit about the Jim Crockett Promotions. Chris, what have you got for that as we welcome Chris Parrish to the show as well? What's up, Parrish?
Oh, geez. So this one actually really surprised me, given the fact that I haven't seen anything wrestling related on this channel since the 80s. And I'm talking about PBS. They're putting together a documentary talking about Jim Crockett Promotions. And I'm very excited about this because if this is done the way I think it's going to be done, it's not going to be a WWE revisionist history version of Jim Crockett Promotions, unless, they talk to somebody who's currently employed by WWE who may have worked for Jim Crockett.
Right.
Because maybe there's still a guy alive who still worked there, but who knows?
Maybe.
But no, they mentioned wrestlers that they're going to be talking to here, like Ric Flair, Magnum TA. It says Dusty Rhodes, but we know that they didn't talk to Dusty. He's been dead almost 10 years. The duo director, it's also going to be directed and co-produced by Cliff Baumgartner and Chris Leah. They're going to be doing interviews talking about the documentary coming up too. No, I don't see a release date here in this article though too, as I see. Okay, it's called When Giant. Okay, I found it. It's called When Giants Walked Here. It will premiere August 8th at 10 p.m. on PBS North Carolina.
Right.
But
that's who's premiering the documentary.
Yeah, it's going to be on other PBSs over time. But it will be available to watch directly after it airs in PBS North Carolina via the PBS app.
Right.
Which I didn't even know they had an app, so I might have to get that.
Oh, yeah, they do.
But no, this actually surprises me because, again, like I said, I haven't seen wrestling or anything wrestling related on PBS since the 80s.
Right.
And that might have been maybe seeing Hulk Hogan on Sesame Street or something like that.
Right. Of course. But, and a lot of the times when it came to PBS, there really wasn't any professional wrestling action per se that was happening. It was more appearances or guest spots per se.
Yeah, like
when it came to wrestling and PBS.
Yeah, like it might have been Hulk Hogan doing something with Big Bird or Macho Man appearing on Mr. Rogers or something like that,
I think I would have loved to have seen that.
Macho Man on Mr. Rogers.
Right.
That would have been awesome.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Ooh, yeah. Right? Like, damn, geez. That would have been fantastic, man.
I'm very, I have to watch this because of Ric Flair, I became a fan of Jim Crockett wrestling. And,
right.
My first exposure to it was actually, and I've said this before, was the first Clash of the Champions.
Okay. That was like what, 87, 89?
88. Same night as WrestleMania 4.
I was close.
They did. They
88.
put it. Yeah. They put it out. They did that so that they can compete against WrestleMania 4, and they put Sting and Ric Flair in the main event that night. So of course that's going to beat out Macho Man and Ted DiBiase.
Well, yeah, of course. Of course. Why wouldn't it be? Right.
Even though, well, actually, nobody knew that Macho and Ted were going to headline WrestleMania. So,
right,
going into that show. But no, this, I can't wait already. I need to watch this.
So, for those who don't know who these two people are, Cliff Baumgardner is an award-winning filmmaker and a best-selling author. He actually is a North Carolina native, and his work focuses on stories of the American South and all of its complexity. Three-time Emmy Award winner and producer of the Edward R. Murrow Award-winning documentary podcast, Follow the Truth. When Giants Walked Here is his first feature film.
Mm-hmm.
And then Chris Lea is a 20-year journalist between television, radio, and print, and a former independent professional wrestler, just like you and I are former indie wrestlers. This person is as well, so they have a good understanding of the business. He's one of 3 North Carolina Sportscaster of the Year nominees, 2-time Emmy nominee, and an Edward R. Murrow Award winner for the original documentary Ghosts in the Stadium. And he worked and held numerous championships for different companies around the state of North Carolina. So it's not like these two are just guys that are coming in going, I've never seen a pro wrestling match in my freaking life, but let's do a story on Jim Crockett Promotions. Right? These guys actually know about the business.
Yeah. I mean, just seeing that they grew up in the Carolinas, during the 70s and 80s, you could not escape wrestling.
No, not at all. Not at all. Now, if any of you are in the North Carolina area, at the Rialto in Raleigh on August 6th at 7 p.m., Baumgartner, Leia, and a select cast members will be available for a Q&A following the film. And anyone wanting to attend can register for free tickets at pbsnc.org. pbsnc.org.
Now, see, if I lived in North Carolina, I'm going to that event. I would.
Right? If I was close, I mean, we're not close at all. We're not close at all to Raleigh, North Carolina. We are, for those that are in the United States, we are at the very top of the I-75 and across the border. We are in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, Canada. That's where we are. Yeah, we're not close at all, unfortunately.
Yeah, it'd be a good 1.5 to 2 day drive for us.
Well, no, maybe not that far. Maybe a good day, right? Because you can get straight through going down I-75 all the way down to Florida. You can get there in 2 days.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'd say about a day it would be for us to get down there. And, yeah, for free tickets, I mean, still, it's not, terrible, but that's a lot of gas money.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do want to give credit to a good friend, Ben Curran, with Wrestling News Source for this topic today. He put this out as an immediate release for us over on that website. Ben has been exceptional when it comes to his work and even allowing us to use quotes from his articles. He has been amazing with that, and I just want to say thank you to Ben for that. what other topics did you find for us tonight?
Well, I did find one that kind of ticked me off, as it were.
Okay.
Ticked me off as a pro wrestler, ticked me off as a wrestling fan as well.
Okay.
So, my phone just went all weird to give me. So there was a pro wrestling event that happened in Chattanooga, Tennessee, this over the weekend.
Okay.
Called the Scenic City Invitational. It's one of the most prestigious tournaments in the independent circuit in the U.S.
Right. Yes.
It was highlighted by beloved pro wrestler Dan Maccabee having a bloody and technically brutal retirement match in the night's only non-tournament battle. Featured wrestlers like Rico Gonzalez, Mad Dog Connolly as well. Just your who's who of who's on the independent circuit these days.
Right.
But there was an incident that occurred during one of the first round matchups in the tournament when Pan-African World Diaspora World Champion Shug D and TWE Chattanooga champion Darian Bingston were about to have their match just after intermission.
Okay.
The opening match,
he's cool. I've worked with him. He's cool.
Yeah. The opening moments, I've heard lots of good stuff about both these gentlemen, actually. So, the opening moments of the match saw a male fan direct a derogatory statement about Bengston's ring gear. I can't pronounce his last name.
Yeah, Bengston.
Yeah. Which features a piece of fabric covering half of his waist that resembles a kilt or a skirt. Guy stood up in the crowd, started shouting consistently, "You're wearing a skirt. You're wearing a skirt." The comment was in violation of SCI's code of conduct, which promoter and ring announcer Scott Hensley outlined prior to the event going live on pro wrestling streaming services IWTV. The fans' comment immediately drew a response from Shug D. "What's wrong with that?" he retorted. Kind of get a feeling that Shug D would have said that, you know?
Good for Shug. Oh, yeah.
Both wrestlers then turned their focus back to the match, but the fan just kept going and going and going, making comments about Bingston's attire. His conduct drew the attention of Matt Griffin, who is the founder and promoter of Georgia-based Action Wrestling, who regularly helps run SCI. Action is also the presenting promotion of the Action Futures tournament that takes place during SCI weekend. So he was there doing another event at the same time around that weekend.
Gotcha.
Yeah. According to Griffin, he approached the fan and asked him to stop making comments about Bingston's attire. The man responded by repeatedly yelling, "Men don't wear skirts," and the word skirt towards Griffin. He just kept yelling "skirt, skirt, skirt" at me like it was meant to be something derogatory, Griffin told Outsports. There were several LGBTQ fans in attendance, including himself, who also expressed annoyance at the man's comments. The fan's family told the guy multiple times to stop making comments, to no avail, to just sit down, shut up, and enjoy the show, you know?
Wow.
But his comments switched from slur adjacent to straight up hate speech. He asked if the gentleman was liberal and said the word tranny real quiet as he finally sat down. One of those chicken shit kind of comments, you know?
Right.
At that point, Griffin informed the fan that he was being ejected. He was being kicked out.
Good.
Yeah. From the event, and he was removed from the building after initially refusing to leave his seat. The scene, however, got more volatile. After the man left the building, he attempted to escalate the situation as Griffin, a collection of wrestlers and personnel working the event, and members of the TWE ownership followed him out. According to Griffin, the man tried to pick a fight with him, repeatedly directed the transphobic slur at him, and insulted a pro wrestler, Jameson Shook, who helped defuse a previous incident of transphobia at the TW Arena last year. So according to multiple sources, Shook had to be restrained by multiple individuals after the fan asked how he, a Christian, could support LGBTQ people. Law enforcement was called to the scene, but it is unknown currently if a police report had been filed.
Wow.
The fan left without the situation turning physical. Yeah.
That's insane, man.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm thinking about this, and I thought to myself about the incident that we nearly had at the CWE show during the Too Cold one. The fan that tried to get involved in the title match.
Oh yes. Oh yes. It tried getting into the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't just verbally abuse, as it appears this person had done. This transphobic person, I guess we could say, was really just throwing out all of these comments, right? And just totally uncalled for. And now I get, if you're going to try to involve yourself in a professional wrestling event, maybe you need to just respect some certain things. And especially if this was something that the promoter had like hammered down, whatever, right? Said at the very beginning, this is stuff that we will not tolerate, but then it's happening anyways. Yeah, is terrible. Terrible. Right. Do I forgo? Good to see you. Thank you for coming by. Really appreciate that. We're getting lots of people coming in here right now. Charlotte 90, thank you so much for coming by as well. It is good to see you. Everything is well and good here when it comes to Turnbuckle Studios and this show, Turnbuckle Talk. We really appreciate each and every one of you that are here. Lewis Smith, how you doing? Good to see you here as well. Very thankful for everyone that is here. And we got a large number of people that have joined in and come across. We are looking at 17 people right now as I'm looking on. We'll try to keep track of everything as we go over on Twitch right now. We got 17 of you here, and that is amazing. We thank each and every one of you. And if you would like to follow us, we do lots of different programming here on Turnbuckle Studios Twitch page, from pro wrestling to games to film talk, even. Like, we do a lot of different things. So we really appreciate each and every one of you.
And to people, to the ones in the chat that are saying check your Facebook messages, we are seeing the Facebook messages, but we use our phones to read off to read and talk about our news stories. So it's a little bit difficult to do that.
Right. And so I've been doing this for quite a while. I've been doing this game since 2015, and nearly 10 years now, man. Wow.
That's why I said the other day, because I was still in college when you started Turnbuckle Studios. Had I have known, I would have gotten some professional gear for you guys to do some shows.
Wow, nearly 10 years. Damn. Theodore, thank you so much, my friend. I really appreciate you. I did get your message on Facebook, and I did reply to you. I see that you have no, you haven't seen it as of yet, but I'm having people tell me that you were the one that has sent them over here, and I appreciate that greatly. See, I've been doing this for going on 10 years, and I absolutely love it. I'm not going to stop doing what I'm doing, but this is amazing to have 17 of you here. I work everything. So I work literally everything. I'm trying to keep track of this, doing Facebook, checking stories, reading stories, talking to you, clicking buttons here, clicking buttons there. It's amazing. It is amazing. So, Theodore, if you are still in here with us, we do see it. And I thank you.
Now, in my podcast history, I've only been a part of this side of the podcasting thing for almost 2 years.
Right.
Prior to that, I did have another pro wrestling podcast that didn't really go anywhere, but I do a lot of game streaming over on my channels. That's right. And yeah, if you are into video games and, kind of watch a video game, that's what a lot of Twitch is. A lot of Twitch is, people playing the video games.
make sure that you are following Mr. Chris Best over there on his Twitch. It is CBRS_entertainment. You can check him out when he goes live or stick here with us as well. And you can catch all the action for Turnbuckle Studios. This, please, everybody, stick with us here just for a few moments. We want just 56 seconds of your time, because we will show you what all is involved with Turnbuckle Studio. So I'm not going to lie. I have been somebody that is transparent with absolutely everything that I have done in the world of podcasting and video casting. This is the most amount of people that we have had at one time for this show. I was getting a little bit emotional, so I had to go to a commercial because this is insane right now. I'm blown away. Theodore, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Wow. Let's collect ourselves. We still have professional wrestling to talk about. I want to talk about. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I sort of wish you were with me and Bubba on the Raw watch along on Christmas, man.
Oh, I heard about that. Yes. Yeah. Oh,
we got buried in numbers that night.
This next piece is a quick story. It's just a quick one, but I want to let everybody know that one of Canada's greatest female talents has signed or re-signed, I guess we could say, with the WWE. For those asking about Natalya, we are told she has locked in her new deal with the WWE. Now, we don't know what that deal is as of yet. We don't know if this is going to be for her performing or if this is going to be for her doing a mixture of performing and backstage stuff as well, right?
Right.
Have you gotten any other info on that?
No, I mean, I read a lot of speculation on what it is. I know that it was a 5-year deal. I think it was, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So it's, from what I heard, it was a 5-year deal that allows her, in theory, at least from what I've heard, that will allow her the option that should she decide to actually hang up the boots in the middle of the contract, she can ride out the rest of her contract training, helping to train people at the PC.
Okay. So you've actually have a little bit more information than I do. So yeah, like that's fantastic to hear and to know. That's great. Natalya is a staple, right? So
yeah, I've been saying this for like the last year or so, that when Natty decides to hang it up, what better person to have train the women at the PC than Natty? I mean,
I don't think there is a better person.
I don't think so. I tend to agree, and I'm going to use Ronda Rousey as an example on this one, because Ronda's not the best worker, right? We saw how green she was in her first match. She was super fucking green. Pardon my French on that one. But we did see what Natty was doing to improve upon Ronda throughout the matches that she did have afterwards. There wasn't much improvement because
Ronda didn't want it.
Ronda put up walls. Natty even said that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, she definitely did. No, good for her.
Mm-hmm.
Good for her. That's fantastic. And I'm happy that the WWE was able to secure this and come to an agreement with her. She's staying with the WWE. And for that, I'm happy.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that one of our other cohorts here with Turnbuckle Studios, one Mr. Bubba Duke, will be happy with that news as well, because he is a fan. He is a huge fan of Natalya.
Yeah, I kind of get the feeling that if Natty ever did a CWE show and he can't make it, I wouldn't know why. I know he would try his hardest to come, but he'd come to one of us and say, "Hey, if I give you some money, will you get me an autograph of Natty?"
Right. So you have a story that you had sent to me, and I'm pretty sure that you wanted to talk about this.
Yeah, this is a story that kind of perplexed me for a while, because I go over the TV schedule for wrestling a lot, right?
Right.
And I noticed that there was a missing date for July 26th, which is a Friday. So I'm like, okay, what's going on? Why is there a SmackDown on this date? And it's because it's a taped SmackDown that's coming up. It's not live. And the reason why, like for like the last 2 weeks, I couldn't figure out why this was a taped SmackDown.
Right.
Well, it turns out that they're doing a taped SmackDown because they're taking a tour of Japan next weekend.
What?
Yeah, they're doing a tour of Japan next weekend.
Damn. Triple H is really branching everything out.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Kind of surprised me. I'm like, because in the back of my brain, I'm like, couldn't they just bring SmackDown to Japan and do it at, say, Korakuen Hall or Sumo Hall or something?
They could.
I would have.
Ryogoko. Yeah, Sumo Hall would have been perfect for that. I think it would have been perfect for that.
Mm-hmm.
They've done lots of big shows in the Ryogoko Sumo Hall, so there's no reason why they couldn't have just done a smack. Maybe logistically, right? Because time differences and stuff like that.
You know, the other thing that just occurred to me, the G1 tournament. The G1 tournament's coming up too, so I'm pretty certain that it would have been hard to get a televised event in Japan at this point.
Right. Yeah, New Japan kind of has that stranglehold on the market. They got it in a headlock per se when it comes to televised shows. Around that time, around tournament times for New Japan,
which we're coming up on one. So, and it's the big one. So,
yeah. I am happy for those that are going to be able to see this in Japan. You got names like undisputed WWE champion Cody Rhodes, Shinsuke Nakamura, Kairi Sane, Dakota Kai, and Miko. Miko is going to be there as well.
Yep.
Miko Satomura.
You know what? If I'm WWE and I'm doing this Japan tour, I bring Julia.
You should, but we need her on North America first. And I don't know what the stipulations are with that because of what she's been doing.
She's all set to come over now,
right?
She's all set to come over, so
she is, yes, but I don't know what kind of steps are there because of her working with the Marigold promotion, helping start that right now over in Japan. If there's some limitations to her being able to work in Japan, right? Like okay, I guess this is probably the best way that I could put it. So you are working for me, right? And the WWE has a contract with you as well. But I want that you are only shown on Japanese television on Marigold.
Okay, yeah, that
So the
makes
WWE
sense.
can't show, right? That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's the case, but business wise, I have ran businesses. I have run a professional wrestling business. I have had professional wrestling businesses stolen from me. I have had everything you could think of in the business world happen. That makes business sense to me, but doesn't.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think like how did I can't even think of her last name right now, but Stephanie, the one who's coming in from AAA, she
Zacher?
did. Yeah, that's thank you.
Yep. Did you freeze up on me, or oh, you did? Technology, people, it happens sometimes.
Events for WWE over the weekend in Mexico. Yeah, it tech happens. I did freeze up and I froze up slightly again there. But no, I was just saying that she showed up and did wrestling shows for Mexico for the WWE over the weekend.
Right.
Then I realized to myself, the videos and footage I saw wasn't from WWE. It was from fans in the audience.
Yes. That's exactly.
I was going to say I saw it all over socials, but it wasn't WWE socials. Now that I think about it,
nope, nothing WWE have I seen. I do know what I can't say that. I think that they were showing something on WWE programming about the WWE in Mexico, and showed Vacker from the rear going out through the curtain. I think, I could be wrong. I've had concussions. Sometimes my brain doesn't work as well, but I'm pretty sure I did see that.
Julia has appeared on WWE TV before already, though.
Right.
She was
but
shown
not in Japan.
No, right. It was over here in North America, her and Rossy Ogawa during WrestleMania weekend at Stand and Deliver. So
that's right.
And there's the other thing. Rossy Ogawa, I guarantee you, is going to be at most of these events next weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Because word is coming out that it was Hunter who told Ogawa how to break apart and form Marigold. So now we've kind of got Ogawa and Hunter as best friends right now.
And if not best friends, at least good working partnership.
Yep. And that's again, that excites me because that's that open door. Now we could possibly see wrestlers from Marigold come over and do stuff. Wrestlers from the WWE go over to Marigold and help them out.
That would be fantastic.
I love that we're in this world of pro wrestling that we're in right now.
Oh, yeah. Me too. Definitely I am. So happy about this. Something else that I am very happy about is a new faction and group within the WWE called the Wyatt Six. SICKS. The Wyatt Six. And the love and admiration that we are getting from family. Amanda Huber, the wife of the late Brody Lee, has come out and publicly said that she is so overjoyed at how the Wyatt Six is being portrayed and what is being done with the Wyatt Six. as of last night on Monday Night Raw, we saw a video package with Eric Rowan, that was done so beautifully, that was reposted, I guess is the new term. It's not retweeted anymore, but reposted over on X by Amanda Huber. And it just said, "Not Brody and I crying this morning, family forever," after reposting the video of Eric Rowan's VHS tape that they're kind of doing with the Wyatt Six. And it warms my freaking heart, dude.
Just I went back and rewatched that promo last night and again this afternoon. Frig, does it ever break my heart? Just because I thought we were getting Rowan the character last night, but we got Rowan the person in that promo last night.
We did. And so if those of you that are watching have not seen, because you're maybe not a fan of professional wrestling or have watched professional wrestling, go to X and look up at WWE. You will see that there is a little video there that it's post. It has 2 purple hearts with a VHS tape and a video underneath it. Click on that video and watch that. And you can see the emotion that is in there.
And I noticed that when because he was invited to do the Bray Wyatt stuff after Bray passed away, and I saw the exact same emotion on Rowan's face last night that I saw at that tribute and at the Brody Lee tribute too.
Yes, which he touches on in this little promo package that they do. He touches on how he lost brothers in Bray Wyatt and Brody Lee, and it's so amazing to see how the WWE is taking and portraying all of this, and the cinematography that's being done, the video editing that is happening in it, the changing of the voice structure at times, the lighting to everything that's going on in it. It's amazing.
You know what that promo made me want to do after last night? So in college, we used to do screenings for all our short films when we were done them.
Right.
And we always, if there was one film that intrigued us, we always would wait till after the screenings were done and then go and corner who made that film and try to pick their brain. And I so badly wanted to just get up, go down to Dayton, and just pick the brain of whoever edited that video together.
Right. WWE production crew, 100% for sure. 100% for sure. And whoever they have doing production right now deserve a raise. Just saying. They deserve a raise. Yeah. Before we get to our main topic of the night, I do have one more thing that I want to touch on quickly. And we've talked a little bit about the Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin, who have worked in TNA for many years. It's been reported that they have wrestled each other in an indie show, which is believed to be their final appearance before joining the WWE or AEW, All Elite Wrestling. But we're now learning that, however, that is not the case. So I take this with a grain of salt because of who it's coming from. I'm not mentioning names. But it says, well, they're going somewhere. They're going to AEW or WWE probably pretty soon. That was supposed to be their last match in Portland, where they had a singles matchup against each other. But They're booked for a show in August against Evil Uno and Stu Grayson. So that wasn't their last indie show, but presumably they're going somewhere soon. What do you think about that?
I don't even need to guess who even said that based off the wording of that article.
Yeah.
I get a feeling it's a certain uncle that said that.
Yeah. We can discuss it afterwards. We can discuss
yeah.
Dave afterwards. Don't touch on about anything else except Motor City Machine Guns
and where they're going.
Where they're going. Where do you want to see them go?
I don't want to see them in AEW because I've said this time and time before. Every time that Tony Khan gets a new toy, 3 months later he's bored with it, and then they're shuffled off to the side. And that's what's going to happen with Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin.
Right.
They go to WWE. They've already got people there that know how to work with them. Abyss is there, Petey Williams, AJ Styles. You can even say Nick Aldis, Adam Pearce, all guys who already know how to work with them. Hunter, granted, he's never really done promotion with them. He would know how to work with them and how to put them over to be the top tag team. Even Gallus and Anderson have worked with them a time or two too. So there's a number of guys that could help build the Motor City Machine Guns in the WWE. I don't really see that in AEW.
Time will tell. Time will definitely tell. As we told you at the top of the hour, this is Turnbuckle Talk, episode number 381, entitled Who Run the World, for July 16th, 2024. And we have now made our way to our Showstopper segment. And as you can see on the graphic on your screen, this is what we are talking about. We are talking about the Bloodline and who runs the Bloodline. I want your theories first, Mr. Best.
Oh, geez. Who actually runs the Bloodline? Huh. I always felt, yes, we always acknowledged Roman as the tribal chief. Huh? I always felt, though, that when Roman was running things with Jay, Jimmy, and Solo, that it was always a cohesive unit and there wasn't a specific leader. It was just Roman sort of commanding them, but still helping them when they needed it. This is a different Bloodline that we're getting right now, where it is clear that Roman or Solo is the leader. And the other three are sort of his lackeys, not really his friends. You know what I mean? So to answer your question, the real leader of the Bloodlines probably would still be Roman in my eyes.
Okay. That's a good way to look at it, for sure.
I do like the one thing I found myself unsure about after Roman got booted from the current version of the Bloodlines. I felt like that there was a bit of a lull in the Bloodline for those first few months, and I'm like, okay, when are we going to get back to the hot stuff with Solo and the rest of the Bloodline? And I'm like, well, wait a minute, this is Hunter. We gotta follow and listen to what Hunter's doing. And Parrish, he probably didn't really get the boot, but that's just what I'm using as a term right now.
Right. So here
I now see where we're going. I now see where we're going with it, and the rocket necessarily hasn't been attached to Solo, and I kind of like that.
Okay. Here's my take. Strap on your tinfoil hat and get ready for this conspiracy. This new incarnation of the Bloodline with Solo, the Gorillas of Destiny, and Jacob Fatu, is being run remotely. Now, when I say being run remotely, we have a face that is there that is doing all the talking, but someone behind the scenes is being the puppeteer and pulling on those marionette strings. We were going to have an anticipated greatly Roman Reigns taking on The Rock that never came to fruition. So who better to run this group of the new bloodline and be that puppeteer than The Rock, who can then come in after Roman Reigns makes his return to the WWE just to say, step aside, Solo, for the true head of the table and tribal chief is here and will assert his dominance and show Roman Reigns that even without him, he was still able to run the bloodline.
I kind of like where you're going with The Rock there, because it made me think about when he convinced the rest of the nation to kick out Farouk.
Right? Does this not work, though?
And now that I'm thinking of it,
I think he froze up again. I got, now that I'm thinking, and then technology. It was meant to be a help, and sometimes it's just a hindrance.
Yeah.
Give me your thoughts quickly.
Geez. Now, because I'm thinking about it, every time I lagged out, so I missed the scenario you talked about.
Oh. So the one behind the new bloodline is The Rock.
Oh, yeah. No, I totally see where you're coming from. Because again, when he joined the nation, there was that power struggle because Farouk didn't really want The Rock in the nation, but The Rock was starting to get more popular than Farouk, and everybody was starting to like him. And Farouk got the old heave-ho. And took over the leadership. And let's face it, every time The Rock has joined a stable or been kicked out of a stable, sooner, not too long after, that stable would be disbanded.
Right. It definitely is something to think about. I want each and every one of you that are listening to this to go over to our socials and leave us a comment on what you think about The Rock being the one behind the new bloodline just to get at Roman Reigns and show that he is the true head of the table. Follow us on Facebook at TB Talk Pod. Follow us on X at TB Talk Pod. And follow on Instagram at Turnbuckle Studios. Chris, where can the people find you on the socials?
All right. So you can find me youtube.com at CBRS Entertainment, twitch.tv CBRS_entertainment, threads.net at CBS Films 83, facebook.com Chris.best83, tiktok.com CBRS.entertainment.
Jenny, it's being worked on. Definitely it is being worked on. I only have so much time in a day working 2 jobs doing this as well. And, it's sometimes takes a lot. That is where you can follow Mr. Chris Best. I have made things real simple for everybody. Go check out my link tree, linktr.ee/Carl Carafel. That is linktr.ee/KarlKarufel. I want to thank Theodore. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
We got a question from Bubba, who's asking you if this run to does this run to WrestleMania where Roman versus Rock for the head of the table? Yeah.
Yes.
It's already seems clear that that's where they're going. Either that or we're getting Cody and Rock at WrestleMania next year.
Right. Want to thank Theodore for your help with us tonight and pulling in a bunch of people and new faces for us. I appreciate you greatly for that. Marie, T Great, Bubba, Jenny, checking out some other names here. Mr. Chris Parrish, we love you, brother. DY4Go, thank you. Lewis Smith, thank you as well. Charlotte 90. So many new names and new faces here, and we welcome you all to stay with Turnbuckle Studios. This engagement has been fantastic tonight, and we would love to have you back, whether it is on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or a Sunday, when we are doing a lot of content here. For Mr. Chris Best, for myself, Carl Carafel, and for the rest of the team that we have here with Turnbuckle Studios, thank you for watching, and we will see you on the next one. Remember, everyone, the world's a scary place. Take care of each other.